Good afternoon, students. This is Professor Estrada with your Summer 2 Integrated Reading and Writing class. This is going to be the audio lecture for week 4. Now, week 4 will have lecture slides. This is just the audio lecture in case you would like to look at it before you even preview the week 4 folder. There will not be a week 5 audio lecture, but there will be an online folder which will contain the submission for Essay 2, the final exam, Part 1 and Part 2. But as always, this is just the audio lecture for week 4. I'm going to go ahead and start with the home page, as you can tell. And as you've been navigating before, we always start on the left side of the home page. It just tells you the updated announcements for you to look at. The right side will always have my contact info. And it's always helpful to know that the work to do, which may say overdue, or the calendar, will always have mixed up dates. Always refer to the calendar or the specific due date on announcement, only because typically our assignments are due on a Sunday night unless stated otherwise. And for you to be able to turn in something late, I do deduct points, but I do give you at least up to 4 days. And by that, I just deduct points. But I'm going to go ahead and click on the content. It takes us straight into the modules on the left side tab. And as we've been going through all the modules for all the weeks, we're now in the week 4. And if you are looking at this during the week 4 timeline, these emojis, symbols, should not be visible to you. They're just visible because week 4 for me hasn't even started yet, but it just says that you should be able to have access to this. So let's dive into the week 4 folder. On the left side tab, I can view at a glance that it should have lecture slides, the audio, the instructions for the Essay 2 argumentative essay. It will come with a separate essay sample outline, another discussion board number 4, journal prompt number 6, another extra credit opportunity. And this is the week 4 part 1. Going in, whenever you click on it, it just tells you inside this week's folder, you will find the following content. It just tells you by looking at it, the things that you need to read or review, the things that you may need to complete or upload. It tells you in bold the things that you will need to do specifically for a grade. It tells you that the week 4 part 1 online folder is due Sunday, August 10th. However, the calendar may have a to-do list that says that the last day to turn in things will be August 13th at 4 p.m. Those added due dates do give you leverage, but they do come with a deduction. Okay. It says also, Essay 2 is due no later than Monday, August 11th. But, as always, I will try to open up the folders early for everybody. Important, failure to not turn in after this day and time will result in automatic 25 points. A failure to not turn in by August 13th at 4 p.m. will automatically conclude it with a 0. Okay, so let's dive in to what I'm looking at right now, which is the week 4 part 1 folder. I clicked on the lecture slides, and this is what you should be seeing. It has the first title page, the to-do list, which is a reminder of all the things that we are going to do for part 1, reminder, the online folder contents, the introduction to our second essay, which is the argumentative essay, the completion of its contents for week 1, part 1, and to begin looking, reviewing, completing, or starting, however, in whatever order, your essay number 2. So this is an important class reminder. As a reminder, you can always turn in things late, but they come with a points penalty deduction for 25 points per each day late. But also, an assignment can still be accepted without a late pass by the day that it's due. You just have to send me an email by 10 o'clock on that day to let me know that you would like to use your late pass or extension. You're given 2 of them per semester. So let's just say hypothetically that you would need to use it for something specific on Sunday. You could always send me an email requesting to use a late pass, and I'll give you 2 extra days without counting it late. Otherwise, I do count it late. But failure to not submit after 4 days does recount it as a 0. Okay. But if to this point, if you're having trouble accessing things or needing help, feel free to let me know. We're now going to be in week 4. We're wrapping up, and it's going to come to a close. But as always, I'm here to help you succeed. Okay. And I'm going to continue on to my lecture slides. So again, you've already seen this, but this is just the reminder of what's in the content folder. Okay. And then now we are introduced to the argumentative essay, which is essay number 2. So reminder, our first essay was a narrative essay where you explored different ways of your childhood, your adolescence, and your present by looking at keepsakes, mementos, treasured memories, or people or places. But now we're going to dive into the argumentative essay. So in short, what is the argumentative essay? The argumentative essay takes a stand on an issue. So in this type of essay, you as a writer, because you're considered the writer, you attempt to persuade the readers, which is other people who may look at your work, other people that may look at your drafts, to help understand and support your point of view about a topic that you also provide evidence for. An argumentative essay states the thesis in the introduction, covers the thesis because it's consistent within the body, but may provide a resolution or an answer at the very end, which is the conclusion. This structure presents ideas in a logical and convincing manner. Okay, so these are the types of elements that make a good argument. Number 1, we begin with our thesis. It should be clear, argumentative, and cohesive. This structures the entire essay and projects what your perspective is. So we're going to be answering the prompt in the manner of yes or no. Are we for something or against something? So that's the mindset of how you're going to be answering and writing out this essay. Are you for the topic or against the topic? Number 2, personal background. Use personal background to build and support this essay. This describes your reasoning or motive for debating the issue. It explains why the issue is interesting or important to you as the writer. Element number 3, historical background. To effectively communicate an argument, you as a writer should be able to provide the audience with context through resonating historical facts, underlining knowledge of the said topic. So only you know as much as you know about the topic. So if it's something to do with AI, if it's something to do with government assistance, but you have a passion for it, you know things by prior experience, feel free to add that to it. Another one is common ground. These are points that are related to the issue and topic on which both sides, the readers and the writers, that can agree and come to a even point. By identifying common ground, this helps the writer and the reader establish a connection. So while all of us may or may not, for example, believe that the sky is blue, we do understand that there is a sky, we just don't know what the color is. Okay, common ground can also extend to specific topics as well. We also look at definitions. Look at your definitions and the terminology of how you are writing this essay. So writers must define the technical terms that they use in the essay. If a word that only a few would know, break down that word or give us the definition. This is a major problem found in all essays. If you know more medical terminology than we do, then it might be easier for you to break those down for some of us that may need more clarity on it. Also, opposing thesis. A good writer knows that we should consider different point of views. Consider what others think and be sure to point that out within the essay. Types of evidence. Use these types of evidence to build your essay. Use real life examples, stats, authority figures with credentials, analogies, or hypothetical situations. Just pretend that something's happening to help us visualize more points that are addressed within your essay. Also look at the position. Take your stance, whether you are for something or against something, and make a point to express your position and provide evidence throughout. Also use evidence. Be sure to provide factual information to support your reason or claim. Consider this. If there's no proof, there's no evidence. So we could say, oh, Michael Jordan scored 30 points. From what game, from what year, from what season? How do we know this? And is this plausible, or does this relate to your essay in any way? Okay, so as we looked at this lecture slide, slowly we are going to go into the transition of why we're looking at them and the instructions for the essay 2. And here it is as follows. You're simply going to click on it. You're more than welcome to download at your own time or print it, but this is the instructions for essay 2, the argumentative essay. For this assignment, you will write an argumentative thesis-driven essay in which you justify or argue claims for the chosen topic. You will explore points and look at views to support your claim. And after doing so, you'll be able to look at definitive points in the writing process. The essay process in this assignment is used to be able to showcase arrangement of claims and key points. Okay, so this is what you're going to do is we're going to read these out, list of topics, choose one to write your essay over. Okay, so you only get to choose one of these and we're going to explore it within our essay. Okay, so these are the topics. A well-read person is not necessarily a smart person. Your past should not define you. Is getting a college degree worth the cost? Should Shakespeare still be studied as part of the college curriculum? Do paparazzi have the right to pursue or stalk celebrities? All students should receive some form of governmental assistance. What are the drawbacks of using artificial intelligence or AI? Genetic engineering can help in the creation of designer babies. Social media is making humans feel lonely. Immigration policies are unfair to U.S. citizens. Should athletes be allowed to use steroids? Distribution of music should be free. Technology has created an idle or lazy society. Is internet censorship necessary? So you're just going to pick one of these. And let's look at the structures for this essay. In this argument, you should be able to state your argument, followed by if you are for it or against it. And that's why you're going to be introducing it in the introduction. And your body paragraphs are simply just points. Points 1, why you're for it or against it. Point 2, why you're for it or against it. And then go forward. The essay must cover the topic you are writing about. Okay? Must be organized so that every body paragraph relates back to the introduction. So the purpose and outcome of this essay is to break down and analyze a central argument provided by topics. Using a specialized academic audience, we might end up going through different drafts within the writing process. Every person is different, and we will provide feedback. This is the requirements for this essay. Times New Roman size 12 on your paper. It is going to be typed, so it's going to be double spaced, and make sure that your paragraphs are properly indented. 1-inch margins on all sides. Now, if you've had trouble with this before, or if you have trouble, reach out to me so we can make sure that the margins are intact. The essay must have a title. Be as creative or analytical as needed. Don't just put essay 2 or argumentative essay. I would like a title that sets your essay apart from the rest. The essay length needs to be at least 1.5 pages to 3 pages. And there's no word count necessary, just as long as you meet the specifications. And your proper heading on the left-hand corner, it doesn't have to be the header, but it must include your name, course name and section, my name, and the date. And if you need help with the course name and section, I have it up here. Integrated Reading and Writing, 0302, section 21. Since the essay will be uploaded to the online course, it may need to be typed on Microsoft Word or Google Doc. Ensure that you have accessibility to it, as well as that I'm able to view it. So your audience for this, within the following drafts and the writing process up until the time that you submit it, might be the class. So you're informing them of the topic. You're going to go through the writing process. We might go doing some peer review and evaluate how it's helpful to you. So the first thing that I would say, and these are some tips and helpful advice, is the first thing to do is read and study the topic. Based on your understanding or opinions, understand your position and continue to be consistent in it. If you don't understand the topic, then go to one that you can relate to or have background in. This is to argue your point and not change it. Break apart points on why you are for something or against it. And reminder, the essay is due on Monday, August 11th at 11:59. Failure to not turn on this day and time will result in automatic 25 points off. Failure to not turn in by August 13th at 4 p.m. will result in a 0. I will not accept any assignments past Wednesday, August 13th at 4 p.m. as I'm going to get ready to finalize and put in my total grades for the class. My grading book will actually close Wednesday, August 13th at 4 p.m., which is why I'm not going to accept anything afterwards. Grades are due by that Friday, which is August 15th. So that's where they're going to go in. I also have a rubric if you would like to look at it so that you can know how to relay back to what your essay is being graded on. We're going to be looking at selecting details, argumentative context, the focus, introduction and conclusion, the structure and mechanics, and each of them come with a description of what I'm looking for and then points possible out of 100. Okay, so I'm simply exiting out of that and I'm going to go to the sample, which for a lot of people is really helpful because this is just how you may be able to write out your essay. It just gives you an outline. It's not specific in any way for your topic, but it's just a good approach. As everybody writes differently, everybody looks and views and starts their essay differently, but feel free to look at this and use it as needed. So just to help you out in the introduction, you're just going to introduce your topic. Why did you choose the topic and what is your position on it? Are you for it or against it? Why is it important to you? And place the thesis statement at the end of the introduction paragraph. Okay, so your body paragraph, reason number 1, why you are for or against that topic. Do you agree with it or disagree? Include reasoning by giving opinions. Put your claim here. Why is it a good one? Use evidence, illustration, or points, or the points that were referred to in the lecture slides. So body paragraphs or reason number 1 is why you are for it or against it. You're just going to elaborate more on why you are for it or against it in your body paragraphs. And you're going to go all the way down. You're going to list a few within the page limit, and then you're going to go all the way to your conclusion. Use this paragraph to connect the focus points from the body paragraphs and relay them back here. What makes this a good topic? What research or information can a person take from this argument? And do you have any valid points for your original claim? And again, you are just discussing if you are for something or against something. Okay. So we also have a discussion board number 4, and I'm going to open this up so that you can elaborate on this. Okay, so we have discussion board number 4, and again, you should be able to see this. It's not hidden, but you should be able to see this. But for this discussion post, I would like you to explore the following prompts. And let's look at this more in general. Much like the review and introduction of this week for the argumentative essay, this discussion board will require you to simply decide if you are for something or against something. So step 1, as always, is your individual post. Below are a list of topics ranging from basic to advanced topics. I would like you to at least pick 4 from the list below and state whether you are for them or against them. Then respond with 1 to 2 sentences within your own post on why you feel this way. An example of what this would look like will be at the bottom. So these are the list of topics, and again, you're only going to pick 4, and you're going to tell me if you are for them or against them. And notice that for one of these, I actually told you if I'm for something or against something. And you can look at that as an example and do that to your own. So these are the topics for this discussion post. And while a lot of these are really good, feel free to glance at these, but you're just simply going to tell me if you are for or against something. You're not going to elaborate much on it except maybe a sentence or 2. Esports should be equivalent to the real sports in all institutions, such as money for jerseys, celebrating with parties, and being recognized. Ooh, that's a good one. Should the driving age be raised to prevent teen car accidents? Should the U.S. implement a national firearm registry? That's a very good one. Do apps such as TikTok and Instagram ultimately worsen the mental well-being of teenagers? Is online learning as effective as in-person learning? Should the government require companies to disclose the environmental impact of their products? Okay, so from one of these, I simply wrote it right here. I wrote the question. You don't have to write the question, but I wrote it so that you can see it. I wrote, should parents be allowed to post pictures of their children on social media without their consent? I wrote no. And then I wrote just based off my response. So your answer does not have to be descriptive or expansive. Just simply respond in the way that you would like. And then submit your post. Then it says in step 2, due to the nature of free speech and how a person may feel, as opposed incongruent to other people's viewpoints, I am simply would like you just to withhold from responding. So you're simply going to just put your own post. This is a free space, and yet I do hope that we can understand that we're all different and unique. While some people may agree with the topic, others may not agree with it. So this is just a good way for you to just explore how you feel without hearing back from other people. Okay, and then there's a due date right here. Okay. And then we also have journal prompt number 6. I'm going to click on it so that way you have it, and that way you know what it's going to be about. Journal prompt number 6, and again, don't worry about that little hidden eye emoji. And just like your journal prompts, follow through with the instructions from 4 to 6 complete sentences. And it says, what is the first thing you think of when you hear or see the word green? Can you describe it using your 5 senses? Smell, see, taste, touch, and feel. Use adjectives, places, descriptive words, and help me see what you see. What memory, scene, illustration, or image appears to you when you think or hear that word? Green. And then it tells you the due date. And as always, for your journals, you just simply start the thread. Exiting out. And I have another extra credit opportunity for you. This one says extra credit opportunity number 2. And it says the following. It is due by August 10th. It says create a new document and answer the prompt below. In 7 to 10 sentences, I would like you to answer the following. What are you grateful for? What has life brought you, awarded you, or made you aware that you are now grateful for? For some, it could be a roof over your head. For others, it could be the custody of a child, car titles, or ownership, or a business, or even just grateful of your health. Discuss one of the few things that you're grateful for and why they hold meaning to you. Couple of sentences. You're going to create your own document and you will upload it. Now, if there is a problem with you uploading, I think there is an actual text box that you can use instead, but I would like you to make sure that it's turned in on time if you would like to use it, because extra credit opportunities cannot be turned in late. But this extra credit will allow you the chance to earn up to 8 points on your lowest major grade, which is the Unit of Mechanics exam, your narrative essay, your argumentative essay. It doesn't show that there, but it does have it, and your final exam. And then it tells you the due date up here. Okay. All right, so we are now in the week 4 part 2 folder. Thank you for sticking along with me with part 1. We're now in the part 2 folder, and just like part 1, I'm going to show you what's on the left side so that you can see it. There's lecture slides. There's another journal, a writing assessment, and quiz 5. And now on the right side, it tells you the same thing. It also tells you its due date for all of these things will be Sunday, August 10th. Giving you a couple extra days by August 13th at 4 p.m. Okay, and then the essay number 2 is due Monday, August 11th. Now, with me trying to make sure that you may be able to view or open these folders early, I will try to do that with week 4 going into week 5 as well. So let's dive into the week 4 part 2 lecture slides, and they are as follows. Okay, going into the to-do list for week 4, part 2, there's an important reminder for you. The content is listed here as well if you prefer to view it that way. Begin to complete the week 4, part 2 content, and a reminder of when the essay number 2 is due. These are important reminders for you. As a reminder, an assignment can still be accepted late without a late pass. Going into the section of the class, it is important for you to know what can still be turned in with the late pass and what can't be. But always look at the important notices from some of these. If you're having trouble with something, feel free to reach out to me. We can always do a phone call, video conference, an email, just to make sure that you have clarity in these things. Okay, but if you have any questions at any time, let me know. Okay, this is the part 2 online folder content. It's got a journal, the writing assessment, it's called the TSI Prep Practicum, and a quiz 5, and then it tells you the due date. So this lecture slides is simply just the contents itself. We're not elaborating much on anything. So we have journal prompt number 7 for you. Journal prompt number 7, you simply go in and complete the journal in 4 to 6 complete sentences. You don't have to respond to anybody else, just write your own. And so we have journal prompt number 7. Is there something that you're good at doing? Write about your best strengths. What is something that you are skilled in or have a talent for? What is something that you can easily get, but other people have a hard time doing? Is it a game or a quality unheard of, or something that came from training or years of experience? Do you have a hidden talent that you found out about and you don't know how you have it? Let me know. And then it has a due date. Okay. There's also a writing assessment. Okay. And I'm going to elaborate more on this, but it's called the Writing Assessment TSI Prep Practicum. Okay, let me go ahead and open this up for you. This is a collection of reading comprehension questions and short stories. It's formatted as a Word document and PDF document. You will need to download either version and create your copy and submit it back. Now, whenever you have trouble with this, or when you do, or if you don't, that's fine. But if you do come to that, feel free to let me know and we can make sure that we have different ways that you can submit it. The assignment due date is August 10th. It does tell you the due dates that follow. So let me click on one of these. There's also audio instructions for this specific assignment if you would like that. But let me click on this so that way you can see it. It's opening up for me. All right. So this is the TSI Prec Practicum. It opened up differently for me, but it is a Word document or PDF document. So you're simply going to be reading the 2 short stories that are followed. It actually tells you on the document the due date, and it just tells you below are a few short story reading passages. After each passage, I would like you to read the questions and answer thoroughly. You will need to download either version and create your own copy and resubmit it. So it has 2 or 3 stories, if I'm not mistaken, questions. You can either take out all of them and leave the one question that you feel is the answer. You can highlight your answer because it's a Word doc or PDF doc, or however you submit. You are more than welcome to modify it however you would like to show your answer. If they are manual questions, I would need you to write in it so that I'm able to view your answers. It has a couple of them for each story. There's also a poem in here. Then all the way down. So in total, there are only 10 questions. Okay. And again, if you have any questions for this, let me know. There is also a quiz 5. Quiz 5. Now I'm showing you the instructor side for these things. You may not see the instructor side, but you will see these as instructions. Okay. So quiz 5, words and meanings, is due August 10th. This is another quiz, one of the last quizzes that you'll have, and it's an assessment of words and meanings. Take your time to do the best of your ability. It tells you that you will be given 60 minutes per each attempt. You'll be given 2 attempts, and I will take the highest one. Okay? And as always, if you have any questions, let me know.